dálky vidím, že teda nám chybí 2 a my si přinášíme teprve jenom 1. Takže uvidíme, kdy najdeme ten poslední. No a když se na to podívám, tak by to mělo být takhle. Takhle a končí to tady. A dobrý, není toto IT. Co nám povíš, pane? 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 On je nervózní, jak já. Pane? Pane? Pane na nás z vysoka kašle. Možná mu ještě neřekli, že se natáčí už. Nebo přemýšlí, co by nám řekl.
Know yourself as the open, empty, luminous presence of awareness. Open because you say yes unconditionally and indiscriminately to all appearances of the mind, body, and world. Like empty space, you have no mechanism inherent within you that can resist any appearance. We don't have to make this the case, it is already the case. Empty, because although you, I, this aware presence, is aware of thoughts, sensations, and perceptions, it is not made out of a thought, a sensation, or a perception. It is made out of pure knowing or awareness. And luminous, because just like the sun, relatively speaking, that renders all objects seeable, so you, I, this open, empty presence, renders all experience knowable. In fact, we don't really see objects, relatively speaking, illumined by the sun. We just see reflections or modulations of the sun's light, appearing as a multiplicity and diversity of color. In the same way, we don't really know the objects of the mind, body, and the world. We just know our knowing of them. All we know, all that is known, is the knowing of experience. And you are that knowing.
Všechno, co víme, je vědění ze zkušeností. A tam něco bude.
All that is ever known is a modulation of our own knowing presence, modulating itself in the form of thinking, sensing, and perceiving, and seeming to become a mind, a body, and a world. But we never actually know a mind, a body, and a world as they are normally conceived. We just know our knowing of them. And this knowing, the substance of our experience, the only substance of our experience is ourself. In other words, we know ourself alone. Awareness knows nothing other than itself. Be knowingly this open, empty, luminous presence of awareness. We don't need to do anything special to make this happen. Above all, we don't have to manipulate the mind in any way whatsoever to be this presence of awareness. This presence of awareness, which is simply our self, what we refer to when we say I, is ever present. Just check this in your own experience. Nothing that I am saying this evening, there is nothing that cannot be checked in your own direct experience right now. I bring no special knowledge to this meeting. I don't have a store of knowledge which I am disseminating. I'm just, within the limits of language, trying to describe the current experience. Ask yourself, do I know anything other than now? Try to experience the not now. Try first to experience the past. It's easy to experience a thought about the past. But what about the actual past to which this thought refers? Try to experience that. Can you step into the past? Can you go 1 second into the past? Or 1 second into the future? Thought can go there. But what about you? Really try to go there to make sure that this is not just an interesting philosophical conversation, but that it is actually your experience. That the past and the future are never experienced. And if the past and the future are never actually experienced, they are only thought about. And that thought about the past and the future is always now. If this past and future are never experienced, what does that say about time? Time is a movement between a non-existent past towards a non-existent future. It's a theory, a necessary and valid theory, but a theory that doesn't refer to the reality of our experience. Nobody has ever or could ever experience time. When I say nobody, I mean yourself, awareness, the only one that knows or is aware. When I arrived off the plane from London in Washington, D.C. last weekend before coming here, the friend who picked me up asked me how the flight was, and she said, "How long did it take?" And I experienced thought being cranked up like an old motor, a little resistant to get going. And for a moment, I could feel the cogs of thought almost moving, trying to work out how much time the flight had taken. Because in my experience, it had been now all the way. I had never left London. London had left me. I had never got onto an aeroplane, a flow of sensations and perceptions that thought abstracts and calls a body in an aeroplane, flowed through me. And I never arrived in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. arrived in me, or at least the cluster of perceptions that thought calls Washington, D.C. arrived in me. In the same way, nobody ever walked into this room, and nobody is sitting on a chair, and nobody is listening to a talk. A colourful flow of sensations and perceptions appears in awareness. But awareness never goes anywhere or does anything. It is always here and now, not here a place and now a time. Here, this dimensionless, now this timeless presence of our own being. That is our experience, whether we recognize it or not. Now the mind may feel a little rebellious when it hears this. It may say, yes, 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 that's true, but there is an undeniable continuity to my experience. And this undeniable continuity would seem to be evidence of time. Where does this felt sense of continuity come from? All we know of the mind is the current thought or image. And thoughts and images are intermittent. The body is known through sensation, and all sensations are intermittent. All we know of the world is perception, that is, sights, sounds, tastes, textures, and smells. In fact, nobody has ever experienced a world as such, a world as it is normally conceived to be. We just know the current perception. And all perception is intermittent. So if the so-called mind, body, and world are intermittent, from where does this felt sense of continuity come from? It comes from the only thing, if we can call it a thing, that is truly continuous, or in fact not continuous, but ever present now in our experience, and that is our own being, the presence of awareness. The presence of awareness is the only thing that is known to be ever present. Now the mind knows nothing of awareness because the mind only knows apparent objects. So when the mind looks at experience to find what it is that accounts for continuity, it cannot see awareness. And so it manufactures a substance called time to account for the continuity of experience. In other words, continuity in time is what eternity looks like when viewed through the narrow slit of the mind. Permanence in space is what the infinite, unlimited nature of awareness looks like when viewed through the narrow slit of the mind. Continuity and permanence are pale reflections at the level of the mind of the true, eternal and infinite nature of awareness, that is, of our self. What else can we say about ourself from our actual experience? Which means right now, what can we know for certain about ourself? Not what thought may tell us about ourself, but what we actually know in this moment, derived only from our experience of ourself. Ask yourself, can I, this open, empty, knowing presence, can I be agitated? Thought can be agitated. Sensations, or the body, can be agitated. The world can be agitated. But what about you, the one that knows the apparent mind, body, and world? Can you, this open, empty presence, be agitated? See, in your experience right now, that you are, and this of course is just an image, are like an open, empty space, such as the space of this room. Nothing that appears within this room can agitate it. We are all sitting peacefully now, but if we were to stand up and start dancing or fighting, would the space of this room become agitated? You are like that. You, I, the presence of awareness, are undisturbable, imperturbable. We don't need to become imperturbable, and this undisturbability of ourself is not dependent upon the condition of the mind. Right now, you, awareness, are utterly imperturbable, and for this reason, another name for ourself is peace. Peace is not a quality that ourself has, it is what ourself is. Not peace of mind. Minds are more or less agitated. This peace that passeth understanding, that is not of the mind. It doesn't have to be sought, it is not hiding in the background of experience. This very awareness that is seeing, hearing, knowing, is pure peace itself, shining in all experience, however apparently agitated that experience may be. Ask yourself, can I, this presence of awareness, ever lack something? Thoughts can say that something is missing. Feelings can say that something is missing. But what about you? Without referring to thought or feeling, is there the slightest motive in you to avoid the now and replace it with the not now. See that in yourself, this presence of awareness, there is not the slightest impulse or possibility to avoid the now. And what do we call this absolute absence of resistance to the now? The absolute absence of resisting what is and seeking what is not. What is the common name we give to this? It is called happiness. We all know that when we are happy, we are by definition not resisting the now and seeking in the past or the future. By happiness, of course, I do not mean a pleasant state of the mind or the body. I mean this absolute impossibility of ourself ever to resist or seek. To resist what is and to seek what is not. So happiness, like peace, is just another name for ourself. It is not a quality that ourself has. It is what ourself is. What else can we say for certain based on this current experience about ourselves? When I was driving here, or being driven here, the day before yesterday, from the airport in San Francisco, I was looking in the wing mirror of the passenger seat, and I noticed the words inscribed at the bottom of the wing mirror. And they said, "Objects in the mirror are closer than you think." A statement of pure non-duality. Objects that appear in the mirror of consciousness are closer than we think. How close to a mirror are the objects that appear in it? Are there in fact two things? One, the objects that appear in the mirror, and two, the mirror? Or is it all just mirror? All we know of the apparent mind is the experience of thinking. And thinking is just a modulation of yourself, a modulation of knowing or awareness. All we know of the apparent body is the experience of sensing. And sensing is a modulation of yourself, awareness. All we know of the apparent world is the experience of seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, and smelling. These are all modulations of knowing, modulations of ourself. In other words, we never truly know a mind or a body or a world. These labels are just abstractions that thought superimposes on the intimacy of our experience. From the point of view of experience, which is the only real point of view, experience is much closer, much more intimate. So close as to not admit the possibility of two things. One, myself, awareness, and two, the object that I know. Even that is an abstraction. It may be a useful stepping stone, a halfway understanding to conceive of thoughts, sensations, and perceptions arising in awareness. But nothing arises in awareness. The only substance of all experience, the only substance of thinking, sensing, and perceiving is already awareness. What do we call this absolute absence of two things? A subject that knows and an object that is known. Take now the experience of hearing. Go to the sound of the air conditioning. Forget about the labels sound and air conditioning. Our only knowledge of the apparent air conditioning is the experience of hearing. How close does hearing take place to you? 5 meters away? 10 meters away? Refer only to your experience, not to what thought tells you about sound. Where is hearing? Is it close? Intimate? And in the experience of hearing, can you find two parts? One part that hears, and another part that is heard? Or is it just one seamless, intimate substance called myself? And what about this room? Thought says, I, the inside self in here, sees the room, the outside world out there. But what does experience say? All we know of the apparent room is the experience of seeing. Remove seeing, and the room vanishes. In other words, we don't know a room. We just know the experience of seeing. Does seeing take place 5, 10, 15 meters away from yourself? Or is seeing utterly intimate? And can you find two parts to the experience of seeing? One part that sees, and another part that is seen? Or is it just one seamless, intimate substance? And what is the name, the common name we give to the absolute intimacy of all experience? It is called love. Love is the most familiar experience that we all know, the collapse or dissolution of the sense of a self in here and an object, other, or world out there. The collapse of this sense of separateness, distance, otherness, not me-ness, is what we call love. Love is just another name for non-duality. If we call it non-duality, there's just a few thousand of us in the world that are interested in it. But if we call it love, or peace, or happiness, then all 7 billion of us are interested in it. So why is it, if love, peace, happiness are the natural condition of all experience, the substance out of which all experience is made. How is it that it seems not to be experienced? It is because of a single thought that rises in awareness, made only of awareness, which imagines that awareness shares the limits of the thoughts, feelings, and sensations that appear within it. It is like imagining that a mirror shares the limits of the objects that appear in it. With that thought alone, the ever-present, unlimited awareness, which is what we are, seems to acquire or take on the apparent limits of the body and the mind, just as the screen seems to take on the limits of an image when a film begins. As a result of this imaginary collapse or contraction of our self, unlimited, eternal awareness into a body and a mind, these qualities of love, peace, and happiness are seemingly veiled. And it is for this reason that the self, the separate self that thought imagines us to be, is always, by definition, on a search in the imaginary outside world for the apparently lost love, peace, and happiness. However, this imaginary inside self cannot, by definition, find the love that it seeks, because its very presence, its apparent presence, is the veiling of that love. All the separate self seeks is love. In fact, the separate self is not an entity that searches, it is the activity of resisting the now and seeking the not now. All this seeking ever wants is love. But love is the dissolution of this seeking, the dissolution of this imaginary self. In other words, the separate self that seeks love is like a moth that seeks a flame. The flame is all the moth wants, but it is the only thing it cannot have. Because as the moth touches the flame, it dies. That is its way of knowing the flame. It becomes the flame as it touches it. That is the separate self's way of finding love, by dying in it. The death or dissolution of the separate self is the experience of love. So simply be knowingly this open, empty, luminous presence of awareness, whose nature, whose inherent nature is love, peace, and happiness. Not a love, peace, and happiness that is in the background of experience that has to be sought, but that is shining in full view at the heart of all experience. In fact, experience is made out of this substance called peace or happiness.
Tak jo, bylo to dlouhé jak sviň. Opět nevím, co bych vám k tomu tak řekla. Bylo to takové, že ze začátku on vlastně říkal, že jsme prázdní a no prostě ty další věci jsem už zapomněla. Bylo to tak dlouho, že jsem to zapomněla. Chybí nám teda tady ještě jeden, takže se ho pokusíme najít. Mělo by to být teda hodinu a něco dlouhé, takže to si nebudeme pouštět, jenom si najdeme, kde se to dá najít. A ať to máme. A ještě se teda dostanu k té hoře. Tam si doplníme něco, co nám chybí. Opět se vám to tam budu snažit teda přeložit textově. No on teda říkal, že jsme vlastně jakoby hrozně prázdná přítomnost a že vlastně v mysli nebo jakoby v podvědomí můžeme jenom teoreticky myslet na budoucnost a minulost, nebo jako myslet v budoucnosti a v minulosti, přitom se to prostě furt všechno děje teď a víceméně žádný čas není. Pak do toho začal motat něco ve stylu, jakože on vlastně neletěl do Londýna, aby se tam objevil, ale že Londýn ho tam objevil. Nebo že Londýn se dokonce objevil v něm, což je něco tak hrozně zvláštního. Víceméně další prostě teorie o naší existenci, nebo jak to říct. A nevím, co se o tom myslet. Já to pak víc si rozeberu, až si to tam přeložím důkladněji, protože občas něčemu nerozumím na 100% a nechci pak z toho vyvozovat nějaké ukvapené závěry a tak. Takže si zavoláme lodičku. Tady evidentně bude konec, takže se to pokusíme objet z té druhé strany sem a pospojovat si tady tu žlutou čáru. Každopádně mně se tady to filozofování líbí, mně se líbilo vždycky. Neříkám, že by to měla být pravda, od toho filozofie není. Ale je to prostě něco, co vás donutí zapřemýšlet nad věcma a jako proč ne. Tak, tady vidím, že už se bude otáčet. Takže poplujeme vlastně zpátky, poplujeme asi zase pomaleji, já vám to zrychlím během stříhání, ať se nezdržujeme nějak hrozně a tady teda se chytneme hned tady toho nahoře. A takhle si to naštelujeme, to je lepší. A objedem celý tady ten ostrůvek, nebo celou tu horu víceméně. Tak. To bychom měli. A ještě jdem teda pohledat ten jeden audiolog, nebo prostě ne audiolog, to domácí kino a ještě nějaké audiology, protože nevím, jestli máme všechny. Takže jdu se do toho pustit. Se vždycky tak leknu, jak běžím okolo kruci, písek. Tak, tady je teda jeden, je to vlastně, abyste se zorientovali. Tak tady je ta krabice, kde jsme jak si otvírali a aktivovali laser. A tady je ta zkratka, kterou jsme si otvírali vevnitř, tady z toho bambusového ráje. A tady nám teda leží krabička.
If we were not able or did not desire to look in any new direction, if we did not have a doubt or recognize ignorance, we would not get any new ideas. There would be nothing worth checking because we would know what is true. So what we call scientific knowledge today is a body of statements of varying degrees of certainty. Some of them are most unsure, some of them are nearly sure, but none is absolutely certain. Scientists are used to this. We know that it is consistent to be able to live and not know. Some people say, how can you live without knowing? I do not know what they mean. I always live without knowing. That is easy. How you get to know is what I want to know. This freedom to doubt is an important matter in the sciences, and I believe in other fields. It was born of a struggle. It was a struggle to be permitted to doubt, to be unsure. And I do not want us to forget the importance of the struggle, and by default, to let the thing fall away. I feel a responsibility as a scientist who knows the great value of a satisfactory philosophy of ignorance, and the progress made possible by such a philosophy. Progress which is the fruit of freedom of thought. I feel a responsibility to proclaim the value of this freedom and to teach that doubt is not to be feared, but that it is to be welcomed as the possibility of a new potential for human beings. If you know that you are not sure, you have a chance to improve the situation. I want to demand this freedom for future generations. Richard Feynman, 1963.
Dobře, a ještě jeden by měl být tady kousíček. Tady to opět o tom, že vědec jakoby o sobě tvrdí, že vlastně žije bez vědění celou dobu a že nechápe takové ty otázky, jako jak můžeš žít bez vědění a prostě takové jako, no, řekněme, že nic nevíme jistě, takže a nevíme, co bude, takže o tom to asi tak nějak zhruba je. Jo, konečně jsem se vymotala, dobrý. Ještě by něco mělo být nahoře, pokud se nemýlím. Jo, dobře, dobrý. Tady se nezasekneme. Tady u toho vodopádu. Někde. A já nevím. A to je asi tamhle nahoře. Dobře. A to teď nevím, jestli jsme už zkoušeli, nebo jestli jsme na to vůbec makali. Zkusím tam zaběhnout a podíváme se na to. Tak, tady tenhle máme, já nevím, jestli jsme si ho přehrávali, takže pro jistotu si ho pustíme když tak znova.
The most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious. It is the fundamental emotion that stands at the cradle of true art and true science. Whoever does not know it and can no longer wonder, no longer marvel, is as good as dead and his eyes are dimmed. It was the experience of mystery, even if mixed with fear, that engendered religion. A knowledge of the existence of something we cannot penetrate, our perceptions of the profoundest reason and the most radiant beauty, which only in their most primitive forms are accessible to our minds. It is this knowledge and this emotion that constitute true religiosity. In this sense, and in this alone, I am a deeply religious man. I cannot conceive of a God who rewards and punishes his creatures, or as a will of the kind that we experience in ourselves. Neither can I, nor would I, want to conceive of an individual that survives his physical death. Let feeble souls, from fear or absurd egoism, cherish such thoughts. I am satisfied with the mystery of the eternity of life, and with the awareness and a glimpse of the marvelous structure of the existing world, together with the devoted striving to comprehend a portion, be it ever so tiny, of the reason that manifests itself in nature. Albert Einstein, 1930.
To je zase od Einsteina, aha. OK. To se docela divím. No dobrá, tahle část by byla, já ještě půjdu pohledat ten kino. To prostě to kino. Domácí kino a půjdeme si to pustit, nebo, no půjdeme si to pustit, aby jsme se opravdu přesvědčili o tom, že to je to, co si myslím, že to je. A do popisku vám hodím odkaz na celé to video, protože, jak říkám, nemám teďka čas to tady nechat třeba puštěné 1:10 minut, aby se nahrávala prostě, aby se nahrávalo něco, co jinak na YouTube je už víceméně několikrát. A já vím, ano, i ten let's play je tady několikrát a všechno, ale doprčit s tím bordelem. Ale tady jde prostě o tohle. No jo. Tak, jsem u stínových pucliků a ještě jsem se všimla, že tady lze jít někam nahoru. Takže se tam jdem podívat. Máme nějakou jako, no to je asi nějaký kontejner a máme to audiolog, výborně. Tak si ho přehrajem.
In a sense, what modern physics is to the history of Western thought, Zen is to the development of the Eastern worldview, the ultimate refinement of more than 2,000 years of incisive debate, discussion, and critical development. Yet the difference between the two could hardly be more marked. Whereas physics is interested above all in theories, concepts, and formulas, Zen values only the concrete and the simple. Zen wants facts, not in the Western sense of things that are measurable and numerical, which are in fact abstractions, but as living, immediate, and tangible. Its approach to understanding is not to theorize, because it recognizes that previously accumulated ideas and knowledge, in other words, memories of all kinds, block the direct perception of reality. Therefore, Zen adopts an unusual approach. Its build-up involves language, which is unavoidable. Any method, even if it turns out to be an anti-method, has first to convey some background in order to be effective. But the way Zen uses language is always to point beyond language, beyond concepts to the concrete. David Darling, 1996.
Tak to máme asi snad tady, dalo by se říct, úplné kuřátko. 1996. To by byly 3 roky. Dobrý. No, a co teď? Teďka už se podle mě můžeme vydat na tu horu. Takže my se k ní přemístíme, ale tady to asi ukončím. Uvidím, na kolik dílů nás vyjde vlastně celé tady tohleto obíhání a stříhání. A já nevím co, nemám absolutně představu. Může to vojít klidně na 6 dílů, klidně na 3. Uvidíme, jak to se stříhám. Každopádně 2 už by měly být předchystané a venku. Takže v tenhle moment je to tak nějak takhle. Takže máme teda opravdu, ne že hotové, ale aspoň ukázané tady části těch různých monhirů a tak dál, co se vlastně tady tím plní a co se nám tady tím ukazuje. A my se příště můžeme pustit do takové jakoby konečné fáze. To poslední domácí kino by tedy mělo být opravdu vevnitř té hory. Takže se necháme překvapit, kde to najdeme, kde to bude tak hrozně skryté a zahrabané. Každopádně se ještě budeme vracet do toho mlýna, nebo vlastně my ani nemusíme, ale jo, vrátíme se, ať se teda přesvědčíme o tom, jestli je to opravdu ta nahrávka, o které já jsem vlastně mluvila už předtím, jestli je to to, co se týká toho IT a počítačů celkově a tím pádem to bude něco hrozně zdlouhavého, což samozřejmě nevidím jako negativum. My se teďka teda vyhrabeme úplně nahoru, tak nějak nakousnem, s čím se budeme potýkat příště. A už je to tady. 11 laserů hotových. Naznačili jsme si pár těch bonusových puzzlů mimochodem. Když se koukneme tady, dáme load a game, tak máme aktuálně teda splněných 385 puclíků plus 39. Těch 39 to jsou ty bonusové. Těch bonusových by mělo být nějakých 76 nebo něco takového, pokud se nemýlím. Takže máme tak zhruba polovinu, ale já myslím, že takhle na ukázku to stačí. Nevím, jestli má smysl se jakoby... K čemu to je dobré? Jako, to mi chcete tady napovědět? Tady tohle? Nebo o co jde? No, kdo ví. Ty kráso. Dobrý, no. Každopádně, teď nevím, co jsem chtěla říct, kurcepísek. No, že nevím, jestli má smysl vám to vlastně ukazovat všechno, protože pokud byste náhodou hledali návod, jak to vyřešit, tak byste si přece na to přišli buď sami, anebo jste si to právě vyhledali na YouTube nebo kdekoliv jinde. Je určitě hromada návodů už udělaných a tak. Lidmi, kteří to mají splněné vlastně úplně všechno. Tak můžeme si to tady obejít a podívat se, co tady všude teda je. Tyjo, tady je zase nějaká, no nějaký teďka. Hele, on má notebook, to je hovado. Jsem mu vybil určitě, proto je tak zoufalý. Tady se nám hádají. A nebo zkouší divadelní hru, když ten drží tu knížku, kdo ví. Pravděpodobně se dohadujou o nějaké té teorii, kterou jsme tady slyšeli. No je tady hodně lidí teda. Tady je taky pán s notebookem. Je možné, že to jsou sami vývojáři takhle vyobrazení tady v herní podobě. A tohle vypadá jako něco, co budeme teda řešit my. Jo, tady to asi budeme spouštět. Dobrý, já na to nebudu šahat. To si ukážeme až příště. Teda, hele, tady paní ještě fotí. Tak jo, tak příště se teda konečně vrhneme tady tu horu. Typuju to na nějakých 6-7 dílů. Bude to opravdu zdlouhavé, protože nás tam toho asi pravděpodobně bude čekat docela dost. Už jen vzhledem k tomu, že i jako ostatní lidi, kteří to měli poměrně rychle zmáknuté některé díly rychleji než já, tak právě jako v té hoře třeba strávili 6 dílů. Ale nekoukala jsem, co tam je, teda jo, to si nemyslete. Jde jenom o to, o ten čas, který vlastně tady vůbec neexistuje a je úplně zbytečné nad ním přemýšlet podle některých tady těch teorií a filozofických úvah a tak podobně. No jo, tak jo, tohle bylo do Witness, ukázali jsme si teda tady těch pár věcí a příště se na to vrhneme už pořádně a zakončíme to, i když to teda ještě bude chvilku trvat. Tak jo, já vám teda děkuju za pozornost a mějte se. Čau.